Bitch, all my grandma's dead, so ain't nobody praying for me. I'm on your head, ayy.
And that's where it's fun to listen to a lot of these tracks, because when you listen to all the battle songs or the ones that we got so far, he gives you those breadcrumbs that goes back to when he was actually warning people about testing him on this microphone. And the grandma reference right there goes right into 616 in LA when he talked about his Estelle, his grandmother, and the angel watching over him, the angels watching over him as he goes into the battle and whatever other challenges he probably faces throughout his life. You know, that's how he views it, and he has it throughout his rhymes. And in this song Element, where he was warning them about trying to test him and battle him, he brought it back in 616 in LA, which makes it even more dope when you listen to all the records together. All right. Let's get into it. We're going to break down Element, the song by Kendrick Lamar from the album Damn. Now, this one, I'm going to do the unreleased version, which had the actual disses or the actual warnings to Big Sean, to Jay Electronica, to Drake, and all other MCs about testing him and about being butthurt over the control verse. To me, the whole song in Element was him responding to the backlash he got from the control verse, which really there was a lot of sensitive responses. Some MCs responded properly, but the media and people who are not really hip hop and the vultures and people like that took the control verse for more than what it was and tried to start stuff. And this is what people do. They try to make things and try to bring all the negativity and violence to hip hop that they can, in my opinion. And honestly, the nature of some of the MCs and the raps and things like that, hip hop does that enough on its own. They don't need outside media people trying to ramp up violence in the culture more than they should. The control verse was normal MCing. It's just that he named people's names. People used to name names all the time. And a lot of the verse was an ode to Corrupt and the song Calling Out Names, which was a diss record towards other rappers. And that's all the control verse really was. But of course, not every rap artist is hip hop to that degree. So some of them took it the wrong way, but we're going to get into it. Let's start. Element, Kendrick Lamar, the original version, I guess, is what we'll call it. Let's go.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Okay, just before I start, Element. Okay, the way I hear it, the way I take it is the gist of the song and the name of the song, Element, meaning that the response to the control verse was that Kendrick is some kind of, he's this civil rights social leader now, and that he can't make, or he shouldn't make, battle type records and be real hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Want to be the best, take shots at people. It's like people were looking at him or trying to put him in this corner of, no, you have to be this socially conscious rapper. And I think this song in general is about saying, you're not going to take me out of my element. I come from confrontation. I come from that. And confrontation in hip hop is where I'm going to stay. So that's the gist in what he's saying. I don't give a fuck. This is where I come from. I come from not giving a fuck. I come from being confrontational, especially when it comes to hip hop. Let's continue.
I'm willing to die for this shit. I done cried for this shit. Might take a life for this shit. Put the Bible down and go out for a knife for this shit. DOT, my enemy, won't catch a vibe for this shit. Ayy.
Okay, first things first. Put the Bible down and go eye for an eye. Of course, that comes back in Not Like Us, when of course he says, beat your ass and hold the Bible while God's watching. And in the first part, of course, he's going through everything he's gone through to be in the position he's in as one of the best rappers, and letting him know what he's willing to go through. So if you testing him, understand he's all in on it. And then when he goes into the DOT, my enemies won't catch a vibe, he's letting you know what he's getting ready to talk about. Now, in the album version, you don't catch it because he never goes into it, but he alludes to it in the album version. I'm going to go over that a little bit as well towards the end, but we're going to go through the actual diss verses first that are in this leaked version. So let's continue.
Bitch, all my grandma's dead, so ain't nobody praying for me. I'm on your head, ayy.
And that's where it's fun to listen to a lot of these tracks, because when you listen to all the battle songs or the ones that we got so far, he gives you those breadcrumbs that goes back to when he was actually warning people about testing him on this microphone. And the grandma reference right there goes right into 616 in LA when he talked about his Estelle, his grandmother, and the angel watching over him, the angels watching over him as he goes into the battle and whatever other challenges he probably faces throughout his life. You know, that's how he views it, and he has it throughout his rhymes. And in this song Element, where he was warning them about trying to test him and battle him, he brought it back in 616 in LA, which makes it even more dope when you listen to all the records together. See, the fact that he remains cognizant of what he's already said in his rhymes years ago and brings it back in that battle verse is what makes Kendrick Lamar who he is on this microphone. And people who are haters, you just have to admit it. This dude is at least top 5. At least top 5.
30 millions later, know the feds watching. Auntie on my telegram, like, be cautious. I be hanging out at Tams, I be on Stockton. I don't do it for the gram, I do it for Compton. I'm willing to die for the shit, nigga. I take your fucking life for the shit, nigga. We ain't going back to broke, family selling dope. That's why you many ass rap niggas better know. I wish a nigga would. 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 I wish a nigga would.
Now, one thing I noticed about this leaked version, it's kind of like a Mustard type bop, the beat. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a DJ Mustard type beat, at least, if Mustard didn't do it himself, period. But it's got that same bop to it that Not Like Us kind of has. Of course, Not Like Us is a little bit more crafted, but this has that same West Coast bop to it. So it's funny how this was probably the original beat, and he used it for Not Like. He used the same bop for Not Like Us. Sort of like a beginning and an end, so to speak, because this is where he kind of really sent out the official warning to Drake specifically, as well as Big Sean and Jay Electronica. Now, of course, they both stood down, rightfully so. And of course, he and Drake continued to throw subs throughout the following years, which culminated in the battle we just witnessed and may continue to witness. We'll see. Let's continue though.
I'm allergic to a bitch nigga, ayy. An imaginary rich nigga, ayy. 7 figures, how that slimmer than my bitch figure, ayy. Going digital and physical on all y'all, ayy. Fuck subliminals, I put you on that roll call, French.
Okay, the bars right there. We're gonna get into those bars just a little bit. Okay, so allergic to a bitch nigga, an imaginary rich nigga. Now, of course, he's referring to probably in that French Montana first. I forgot to mention French Montana is also getting shots here because he opened his mouth. He's also showing how he views them and also goes into the money talk because Kendrick, because Kendrick is this conscious rapper, people forget that he's also super successful and is making a lot of money. He's going to keep mentioning that as well, as far as the 30 M's he got off of To Pimp a Butterfly. Going digital and physical on all y'all, that can take a couple of meanings. Because he releases classic music, people want the vinyls, people actually want the hard copy because it's classic material. So he's winning both in the physical sales and the digital sales, depending on who you're talking about. Now, of course, we know Drake is a higher selling artist, but still Kendrick makes more long lasting music, I would say. So that's the physical and digital part, as well as dissing y'all on records and maybe getting you touched up a little bit if you go too far. That could mean that as well. Not saying it does, but it could. And then F subliminals, I put you on that roll call. Of course, that's the control verse, and that's what this verse ended up being as well, because he's gonna call them out again, letting them know this is the element that I come from, not that soft, weak, imaginary rich, allergic to. He said he allergic to that. So let's continue.
Know me in interviews, very cynical, dry hating something I don't approve. Jay Electronica, 3 silences on my Grammy night. Another dead prophet, hoping the God to give him life.
And I think a lot of the hate that Kendrick receives is because of the acclaim that he gets as far as the Grammys and the awards that he wins. There are some MCs, Jay Electronica being one. There's others I'm not gonna name. I want to start no mess. But there's others who are kind of in the same lane who really hate on Kendrick and try not to give him the props that he deserves. But the artwork, the art speaks for itself. You know what I mean? So the Jay Electronica thing is Kendrick is alluding to him, another dead prophet, hoping the God give him life. And that's what he's referring to. There's a lot of MCs who are kind of in the conscious lane, whose careers are not popping at all. And they take shots at Kendrick, hoping that he mentions their name and hoping that he gives them life. And he's saying, I'm not going to do it. That's probably why this verse wasn't on the album.
Big Sean keep sneak dissing, I let it slide. I think it's false confidence got him inspired. I can't make them respect you, baby, it's not my job. You're finally famous for who you date, not how you rhyme, boy. Cute ass raps, get your puberty up. They make you a classic album before you come at us.
And shout out to Big Sean. I don't understand why Big Sean felt the way about the Control verse when it was up to him to release the record. I never understood that. I think that probably came from people like putting a battery in his back that to just go at Kendrick for whatever reason. I don't think he and Kendrick are in the same lane. I think that's what Kendrick is saying too. That's what he's alluding to. You know, you make cute raps for, you know, you make like pop raps, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I like Big Sean. I think he gets busy for what he does. I think this also inspired him to make better music. I think the album after this, I think Dark Sky was after this, Detroit 2, those were really good and more high level albums where Big Sean really showed what he was capable of. So I think this inspired him in a way. I'm sure you heard it since it was leaked. And Kendrick told him, you know, you need a classic album before you come at us, for real. And that's the honest truth. You know, you kind of shooting outside your weight class. So let's continue.
Drake and McMillan beef might got you gassed up, but I'm a whole nother beast, I really fuck you up.
And Drake should have took that more seriously. And Kendrick says a lot about being a prophet. He said in this song, he says in a lot of songs. And obviously he's very serious, and y'all should start taking it serious that this man will predict the future in his bars. Bottom line, because Drake, this battle or the first round or whatever you want to call it, you got effed up pretty bad. And a lot of what he addressed in the battle, he had already addressed in this song. We're gonna go, I think this is the third verse of the album version.
Hide your hand, just say his name and I promise that you'll see Candyman, because it's all in your eyes. Most of y'all tell lies, most of y'all don't fade, most of y'all been advised. Last OP I tried to lift a black artist, but it's a difference between black artists and whack artists.
So there he's first of all making a distinction on how he looks at them with that last line. It's a difference between black artists and whack artists, right? So he sees a clear distinction in the type of artists he's trying to uplift that are not you all, that are not the Drakes, the Big Seans of the world. He respects y'all for what y'all do, like he said in Euphoria, as far as I like Drake with the melodies. I don't like Drake when he act tough. You know, he's saying stay in your lane, do what you do, but don't be jealous, leave my name out your mouth. Or you're gonna see Candyman, and of course, that's what we saw. I'm sorry. Everybody should be a little bit worried about mentioning Kendrick Lamar in your bars. I know there's some MCs right now planning on how they may get their name up and go at Kendrick Lamar. I'm telling you, that's probably not the attention that you want. But let's get into some of the album bars now, where he also addresses where this beef kind of came from.
None of y'all fucking with the flow, yeah. Years in the making, they don't y'all mistake it. I got them by a landslide, we talking about races. You know there's never be a tie, just look at their laces. You know careers take off, just gotta be patient. Mr. 1 through 5, that's the only logic. Fake my death, go to Cuba, that's the only option.
So there, when he starts and he's talking about they not messing with the flow, years in the making, don't y'all mistake it. We looking at, I got him by a landslide, we talking about races. He's talking about the dedication he put into being an MC and the dedication that others may have not put into it. You know what I'm saying? Them not understanding that he's on a different level. He went through a different regimen to become the rapper that he is. And, you know, saying his name and challenging him as though he's a regular rapper is not the move. You know what I'm saying? I got y'all by a landslide when it comes to skill on the microphone. And that's kind of obvious, honestly. And then when he says, you know, this will never be a tie, just look at their laces. Basically, look at what they're tied to. You know, look at their background. Again, we're talking about element, the element people come from. That's what he's saying. Look at the element you come from. Look who you tied to in the game. Look who you surrounded by in the game. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick comes from TDE. TDE, everybody over there is a beast on the microphone. Everybody. So even the R&B artists, even Sir, the writing is high level, period, throughout the whole camp. Okay, that's the #1 camp in hip hop by far. Then he tells you, Mr. 1 through 5, that's the only logic. Okay, so I'm 1 through 5. Again, that goes to like that verse. Mother effer big 3 is just big me. All right, he told you this in Element. That's how he feels. I'm 1 through 5. You know, the rest of y'all can, I don't know. You can worry about, 6 through 10 and all the rest. But I'm 1 through 5. And honestly, in this battle, he did prove that. Then with the Fake My Death, Go to Cuba, that's my only option. Okay, that's of course a reference to the Tupac rumors that's what Tupac did. He faked his death and he's hiding in Cuba. He's saying I'm GOAT status, period, point blank. That's my only option. At this point, I'm one of the GOATs. Be careful who you talking to. That's what he's talking about in this Element song in general, period. He's separating himself from the rest. And this is back in 2017. But let's continue.
If I gotta slap a pussy ass nigga, I'ma make it look sexy. If I gotta go hard on a bitch, I'ma make it look sexy. I pull up, hop out, hair out, made it look sexy. They won't take me out my element. Nah, take me out my element.
Now, to me, that hook on the album version references the track Not Like Us to a T. If I gotta slap him, I'm gonna make it look sexy, right? I'm gonna make it appealing to people, right? Which Not Like Us is extremely appealing to everybody. It's the #1 record in the country, right? And then when he says, I pull up, pop out, air out, made it look sexy, that's what he did in the battle and definitely with that record, right? So that goes into the prophet talk again, the prediction talk. Of course, he made a record doing what he said he was gonna do in this hook. That's talent, bottom line. And the Not Like Us record represents everything about Kendrick's Element and where he grew up and where he's from. It's a West Coast Compton record, period, in every way, shape, or form. So again, he's on a different level when it comes to the creative part of making and crafting his records. Bottom line, he's thinking a little bit deeper than I think most artists are, which is why he was able to best Drake in the battle. He was a step ahead and he was thinking a little bit deeper than Drake was, and Drake wasn't ready. So I'm gonna continue to go through the tracks where they go back and forth at each other. I'm gonna do some Scary Hours 3 records next, because I think people are under the illusion that Kendrick jumped it off with Like That. Really, he didn't. Drake asked for this in Scary Hours in a couple of the songs. He asked for this, and they've both been asking for it, honestly. Now, who's been asking for it more aggressively? I'm gonna leave that up to the listener as I go through the records. But Scary Hours 3 will be coming next. The Heart Part 4 I pretty much already have done. The Membership is coming on the way, where I'm gonna do Nostalgia and 5 a.m. in Toronto. I'm trying to stack up a bunch of records in the Membership. I'm gonna do some Odyssey records and things like that. So what I'll do is I'll release like the first 5 minutes of it, where I'll go over a few of the bars in whatever song I'm doing, and the rest will be, you'll have to be a member to see the rest of the video, so to speak. Because when you play these records, while you're doing the lyrics explain videos, the monetization is light or non-existent. So I'm gonna do that with the Membership. I'm gonna do some other things with the Membership. I wanna make sure it's worth it before I launch a membership. I don't want people paying for like 10 videos. You know what I'm saying? I wanna make it to like at least 20 videos are up there, and then I'll continue from there to add videos every week, every month. I'm still gonna do full videos on the main channel, especially when Kendrick drops his album. I'm gonna do a couple songs on there for sure. I'll probably leave the whole album on the Membership. Same with other big artists dropping big albums. I'll do a couple of the hit records on the main channel, and then the rest of the songs will be behind the Membership wall. If you have requests, that will be on the main channel. I'll do the song on the main channel. Also getting set up to do reactions. I want it to look a certain way. I want it to look fly. So I'm not just going to turn on the camera in a studio room and do reactions. I want it to look a certain way. So I'm working on ways to get it to where I want it to look. But by the time Kendrick drops his album, I'll be doing live reactions. So we'll get that done. And yeah, thank you for watching as always. Like, share, subscribe. Hit that like button, hit that notification bell. Share the video. Trying to grow the channel. Thank y'all. It is growing steadily. Not fast, but it's growing steady as we go. Thank everybody for commenting, sharing, liking, watching. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching as always. We out.